Hey YouTube, welcome back to TXC Tells All, or welcome if this is your first time joining us. So you see I have my shirt on today. The best thing I ever did was quit my job. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why I agree with that shirt, and I just quit my job on September 18th, and I'm going to explain to you why it was the best thing I ever did, so stay tuned. All right, y'all. So 2020 for many of us, for all of us, really, no matter what walk of life you're in or what part of your career you're in right now, 2020's been different, and it's been a lot of changes for a lot of people, a lot of changes in the job market, and a lot more talk about entrepreneurship and the value of having your own business. And I work as an attorney. For those of you who don't know, I worked for a firm for about 8 years here in Texas, and I also worked for another firm in New Jersey before I came here. So my whole professional career, I have worked as an employee, working for an employer or working for a company. And I will say the learning experience that I got from those jobs was great. I learned a lot. But as I went through my legal career, I definitely felt like it was time for a change for me. And just professionally, I felt like I wanted to do something different and enter into entrepreneurship. My husband has his own firm and has ever since he graduated law school. So he really was familiar with owning your own business, and working as an attorney, but also working as an entrepreneur and facilitating not only his legal career, but his profession as a business owner. And I saw a lot of value in that flexibility, the ability to control how much income you make. And I think most importantly for me, when you work as an attorney, it's a difficult job. You put a lot of time into it. It's hard work, but it can be very lucrative. And when you work such long hours and you work for a company, usually, and at least this is the way my salary was set up, no matter how much you work, you get paid a salary, you get paid the same thing. And that can become taxing where you don't have as much control over your own life, because you put and invest so much time into working for someone else. And although there are benefits to that, it just the balance it wasn't working for me. So I decided that I needed to make a change, and I'm going to talk in this video about the differences between working for a company and working for yourself, and why I feel like quitting my job was the best thing I ever did to leave a company working for someone else and go into entrepreneurship. Okay, first, this is a basic one, but in being out in entrepreneurship for about, or at least full time for about a month or so now, time is just so valuable. I didn't realize how much I was really neglecting myself and my family. Working, as you know, if you're working a job, you have to be there at a certain time. You're expected to stay there until a certain time. You have to give notice if you want to take a day off, or even in some jobs, a couple hours off. It's a lot of control over your time. And I think we just get used to that. I mean, a job is a job. You have to do what you have to do. There's rules and there's policies, and you just follow them, especially if you've been working for years and years. I mean, it's just how things are, and you just get used to that. But when I stepped over to the other side where I, have my own business and have more control, time is so, so valuable. I still work a lot, don't get me wrong, but the fact that I can say, okay, I have a personal matter to take care of in the morning. I don't have to ask anybody, for time off. I don't have to give any notice. I know what I have to do for my clients, and I get that done. But if I have a personal matter to take care of, whether it's at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. or 5 p.m., I can just go do that. And the control over your own life, it's really freeing. It really felt like it was worth taking that leap. It was worth taking the risk of starting my own business and being my own boss. I mean, it's invaluable. And I think when I was working for someone else, I didn't realize how much of a value that was until I actually had it. So that's definitely one of the reasons why I think it was a great decision for me. Another thing is being able to wear multiple hats. So when you work 9 to 5 or 9 to whenever, because my job definitely wasn't always 40 hours a week. Oftentimes I was, excuse me, working more than that. I would not be able to invest any time into other things. It would be very, very hard and challenging for me to cultivate some of the other things that were important to me, like my YouTube channel, TXT Tells All, or like my real estate investments, or, just other personal matters that I wanted to attend to. It was very, very difficult because all the business hours were spent invested in time for the company. Now, of course, you sign up for a job, and I'm very dedicated to any job that I have. So I'm going to make sure that I do it to the best of my ability. But everything else takes a back seat. So that's a sacrifice that you make. Obviously, sometimes, it is comforting to have that paycheck coming in once every 2 weeks. You're going to get paid. But you also I think it's easy to neglect some other things that you may want to develop in your life. So if you have other interests, other hobbies, like we say, side hustles, those things usually take a back seat to a job. So that is another benefit of entrepreneurship. I think you still have to work hard. You still have to, of course, invest time into your business if you want to see it succeed. But if you have other interests, you're able to control how much time and energy you put into those other things, and it gives you the ability to do that. All right, one other thing. So for me, this is a little particular to my profession and my industry, but as an attorney, we talk to potential clients, and then we have to make a determination on whether or not it's a case that we think we can take. If we think we can help the person. So it's kind of like an intake process that's done, and then we decide whether or not we're going to accept that person as a client. When you're working for a firm or an employer, a lot of times cases are given to you. Here, this is the case that you're going to be working on. You don't have too much say in what case you want to take. If you want to take the case, if you think it's a good case, if you think it's a bad case, you can give your opinion. But hey, at the end of the day, the case is yours. You're going to work the case to the best of your ability if your managing partner is giving you that assignment. Working for yourself, you can actually make a decision as to the cases that you want to take. So as an attorney, you can say, I don't really think I want to take that case for one reason or another. It could be a legal reason. It could be the connection that you have with the client, but you have control over the cases that you want to work, and it makes an already stressful job just a little less stressful, which is so important to me at this juncture in my professional career. Um, Being an attorney is a stressful job. You're taking on somebody else's problem, and you want to make sure that you get them the best result possible. That's not going to change. But having control over what cases I take and what cases I don't take means a lot to me professionally and personally, as how my business runs, how my life runs. So that is a big change for me and a big positive in going from working for someone else to quitting my job and working for myself. All right, so this is a big one, earning potential. Now, working for a company, obviously, if you do a good job and you're working for a decent company, I would hope that you have the ability to increase your wages. So you get a yearly raise or some type of promotion opportunities, but it's a slow climb. Anybody who works for a company knows the percentage that you get of a raise is usually, if you're lucky, 3 to 5%, maybe more. Maybe you have bonus potential at your job, but it's still, your earning potential can be stifled working for a company for years and years and years. There's no guarantee that you get that bonus. There's usually no guarantee that you get that raise, especially in times COVID-19. Some people are getting pay cuts now, and they still have to continue to do the same amount of work. So When you work for an employer, as far as your wages and your earning potential, you are really at their mercy. Working for yourself and owning your own business, obviously you are still affected by the market depending on what service or product that you offer. It can be affected by, the economy at that time, but I do feel like I have way more control over my earning potential. The more I work, the more I can earn, the more I put into my business, the more there is for growth monetarily. So this is comforting to me when I'm putting a lot of hours in and I know I'm at my own mercy. It's how much I put into it, maybe how much I get out, as opposed to working for somebody else and being at their mercy as to what my earning potential may be that year or the years to come. That's really important for me at this juncture, at this stage in my life, at this stage in my career. I want to have control over my earning potential. And that is something that I feel like I gained in quitting my job and starting my journey as an entrepreneur. Lastly, y'all, this one is just as important, if not more than important, as the other things we talked about today. Self care is every day. You cannot be your best attorney, wife, mother, sister, whatever your role is, if you don't take care of yourself. And I think a lot of times when you work for an employer or you work for a company, you give a lot of yourself to that company, and self care can take a back seat. In entrepreneurship, it's hard work too. You still have to put the time in, but I feel like I'm better able to prioritize my own self care. And that has been a big change for me, and I think it's something that I needed to do for myself. So, quitting my job wasn't just a professional move for me, but it was also a personal move for me. And self care was at the top of that list. I was consistently neglecting myself because I felt like I had a deadline. I needed to get the work done, and I didn't feel like I wanted to give any excuses to my employer. It was given to me, the assignment, I needed to get it done, and self care would time and time again take a backseat. So that's something that I made the conscious decision to change going into entrepreneurship, where I would still give, of course, everything that I can to my business, but self care cannot always take a backseat. You have to make sure that you take care of yourself so that you have something to give professionally and personally. So that is another thing that I gained, and why I think the best thing I ever did was quit my job. If that's something that you're thinking about, I hope this video was helpful. I'm living proof that you can do it and be successful on the other side. Comment below if this is an experience that you had or something that you're thinking about. I would love to hear from you. If you like this video, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe. We post new videos every single Sunday.